You know, you used to be able to say I had an NHL spot. Not anymore. Like we're not penciling in David Kampf right now because frankly there's better options than David Kampf, and David Kampf has to actually show that he is still worthy of being on this team. And I'm sure he's probably like, this is new territory for me. And I think it's actually refreshing to see that we're going to have some legitimate battles for roster spots.
Yep. Like the two guys who have been kind of penciled in with the Leafs, Nick Robertson and David Kampf, on my lineup card, assuming everyone's healthy, they're sitting in the press box night one against the Montreal Canadiens on October 8th. So they're going to have to battle. They're going to have to prove that they are the best option for the Maple Leafs. And what Craig Berube said about that was, you know, the 20 guys each night that gives them the best chance to win is who's going to make the team. So when asked about Easton Cowan, he said if he's the best fit for the team to help them win, then they'll put him in that position to play. But he's got to prove it. And so does, you know, Yarncroc, so does Nick Robertson, so does Bobby McMahon. Remember, Bobby McMahon didn't even start the year with the Leafs last year. You know, so there's many players that are going to have to prove that they are worthy of being in this lineup each and every night. And even Steven Lorentz might not be a nightly guy for the team this year. He's going to have to keep performing to a high level, the level they need him to perform at to keep his place. So yeah, more bodies than seats, which should mean a really, really solid camp. One other thing that I guess we really took away from today's presser was all the discourse surrounding Anthony Stolarz. And we talked about that a little bit the other day, how potentially, you know, could Stolarz be looking to get a deal done in training camp? He's a pending UFA. We just saw a contract extension to Spencer Knight, and whether or not that would have impact. But what we do know is that there have been ongoing conversations with Stolarz and his representatives. And Brad Treliving said, quote, "We're hopeful to find a good outcome here. I'm confident until proven otherwise that we can find something that'll work. I think we'll do that in short order." So it sounds like he wants to get something done pretty quick and get this thing signed, sealed, and delivered so they know what their goalie situation is moving forward. That being said, it's also being reported that Anthony Stolarz has a timeline for when he will be cutting off all negotiations on an extension. Dave, what's the timeline?
Well, actually, he spoke to Luke Fox, and he said, "I want to get it done as soon as possible, especially before the season starts." Mm-hmm. And I think CJ Chris Johnson said that essentially once the regular season starts, there's no desire to talk about a contract.
Yep.
Which, again, we've been down this road before. Yep. But this is clearly a goaltender right now that understands there's a bit of leverage for him. And he wants to get a deal done. The team wants to get a deal done, but he's also understand that, you know, we got to come together on what's, you know, good for him and good for the team. And I think the most important thing for him is term. To me, he's been through so many different times with free. He even said it. I've been to free agency. I've done that dance a few times. Let's get me a little more stability so I do not have to see free agency for a little bit here. And I think that's what it's gonna. I think that's. It seems like where it's coming down to is what's the right term for both him and the team.
Yeah, set his roots. So, you know, so he can put his roots down here in Toronto. Know that he's going to be here for not only this year, but an additional maybe 3-4 years after this. Take him all the way to 35 years old at that point, and really settle into Toronto. That could be the way that they get it done. It sounds as though Chris Johnson was making it sound as though, you know, the comparables are between $4.5 and $5 million, right? Kevin Lankinen is a guy who signed a contract a year ago in Vancouver, very similar career arc, and Karel Vejmelka, another guy very similar to Anthony Stolarz. I think he's making $4.75. So something in that range, $4.5 to $5 million sounds like it could be the number, but it sounds as though, again, Stolarz wants term to go along with it, whether it's 3-4 years. Gonna have to be some term if he wants to get something locked in and locked down for the Maple Leafs before the end of training camp and before the regular season kicks off on October 8th against the Montreal Canadiens. Anything else that stuck out to you from today's day one of camp? Listening to Berube, listening to Tree Living, the leadership group with Matthews, Tavares, Riley. Anything else stick out to you?
Not really. A lot of the same answers we've kind of expected. How do you help this team get over the hump? Blah da da da. It's like, okay, we've heard this. Oh, we got the true living answer on Dylan Dubé.
Yes,
that is not a focus on this team, and I think we kind of expected that. Especially, I think for any of the Canadian teams, I think Edmonton was asked about Carter Hart. That's not even on their radar right now.
That should tell you something.
Yeah, Alex Formenton, he's still technically with the Senators. I think he's an RFA, and they're like,
yeah,
we're trying to find a trade partner. We're just trying to find a split there. So like, if you're a Canadian team, especially, if you're one of these 5 players, I don't think you're going to be finding anything in Canada at this stage.
Couldn't a team just offer sheet him?
Probably.
Like, as an RFA, can't he be offer sheeted? And like,
I don't know if there's like deadlines or stuff for offer sheets. I
don't know if there is either, I suppose, but as long as they keep the number to like under, 1.4 or something like that, where you have to give up a 3rd round pick. And I'm sure these players will play for league minimum just to get back in the NHL.
I don't think the Senators are looking to get. I think
conditional 7th future considerations.
Give us a player who's not even anywhere close to being on the NHL radar. If you need to get rid of the roster space,
that's fair. That's even if someone wants to go down that path, which it doesn't seem like the Leafs are wanting to do, despite there being a bit of a report on that earlier in the week. Doesn't sound like the Leafs are going to be in the Dylan Dubé business anytime soon. So yeah, there was quite a bit that was said throughout camp today, but sounds like everyone's enjoyed their summer, happy with how they trained to get ready for the upcoming season. And today the real stuff begins on the ice. So they'll get through the first portion of on ice testing. We'll get a look at the lines so far early in camp. We'll see what's going on with the power play. I'm very intrigued to see what the first power play looks like as well. So lots still to come in camp. Only one day down, still a couple weeks ago, and then we got a game on Sunday taking on the Ottawa Senators. So really quickly, only a few days of on ice sessions, then bam, right onto the ice for a game on Sunday. And we'll be here each and every weekday to break it all down. But that'll do it for us here today on the podcast. I'd like to thank you all for listening and supporting the show. You can subscribe to the Locked On Leafs podcast on all platforms and receive daily Leafs content. Follow myself on Twitter at Mickey_Canuck. Follow Dave at D_Morrisudi, and follow the show as well at Locked On Leafs. We'll be back with another episode for you guys tomorrow to continue breaking down day one of on ice sessions from Maple Leafs training camp. Until then, keep it locked right here on Locked On Leafs.